Hey, I'm just broadcasting live from Cove FM in Hubbards, doing my radio show here as a volunteer on the local radio station, Cove FM 88.7, Money Matters with Marianne. So if you're tuning in, hi. I'm not talking on the radio right now, I'm just talking to you because there's some songs playing. So I'm going to keep an eye on the board because this song's about to end and I have a couple commercials to play. And then I'm going to be sharing some holiday spending savings tips. So, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. So, if you had never tuned in before, I do this show every Thursday evening. And the purpose of this show was to give free financial advice to the community and really anyone who listens. Oops, busy talking to you guys and not, touching stuff on my board here. Pay attention, Marianne. So I'm going to start talking right after this ad. Just checking my lineup to see how I'm doing. I'm doing okay. I like that commercial. I like the kitty meow. Okay, and I'm back, and you are listening to Money Matters with Mary Ann. And we're talking about holiday spending. What else would we be talking about this time of year? Because the holiday season is right around the corner. Okay, so last week I was talking about just some wise spending and some ways that you can do your last minute shopping that can save you money and be, great ideas for gifts. And so one of the things we talked about is buying consumables, things that get used up, things that people use every day. If you have somebody on your list that is challenging to buy for, then this is a great way to to give them stuff that they use every day. So I use the example of my 92-year-old mom who's really hard to buy for. And I'm sure we all have a few people on our list like that. So here's a few other consumables that are great for all kinds of people. Batteries. Does anybody have enough batteries? Anybody? I don't know about you, but we run out of them like crazy in our house. And so buying batteries, they're great stocking stuffers, they're great gifts. In fact, for many years, I bought my mom every kind of battery for Christmas, and she would have them all year long. It was a great gift. And when I ran out, I went and snuck some from her. Don't tell her that. Mom, I hope you're not listening. Gift cards, of course, because anybody can use gift cards. Those are always a great idea. And something that I recently have been buying my mom is birdseed. And because we all feed birds and we buy, spend a lot of money on feeding the animals. So buying bags of birdseed, for example, is a great gift, as are bird feeders and bird houses. So those were just a few tips on doing some consumables. All right, what else do I have on my list? Oh, actually, I wanted to share a little story with you. I want to share two. We'll see how much time we have. I'll do one now, one later. So I had a gal come to talk to me last week, and she's on disability income, and we were talking about the holidays, and she was mentioning how she felt obligated to buy gifts for her kids, her grandkids, and her parents. And obviously she's on a very tight budget. She's coming to talk to someone like me, and we're kind of going through her cash flow, and I was expressing some concern over, how she was going to do that and still manage her her regular expenses throughout the month. And what I found interesting about that conversation, I come from a very large family. There's 8 kids. And we decided a long time ago that we were going to stop exchanging gifts. And instead we had a get-together. And, that means so much more to any of us. My husband, there's 5 in his family. And again, ages ago, we decided we're going to stop exchanging gifts among the adults. And we all just buy gifts for the children. And so I mentioned some of those things to her. And so what I wanted to say to everybody out there is, if this is a stressful time of year for you, if you are exchanging gifts with all of your family members, certainly if you do get along, well, if you get along is good too. But if you get together over the holidays, that maybe this is the holiday season that you suggest that either you stop exchanging gifts, or you could do something like a Secret Santa exchange where you I think everybody knows what that is, right? You just bring a gift, they go under the tree, you pick them. At our work, we do the Yankee swap, I think that's what it's called. So it's kind of like the Secret Santa, but if you get picked first, you pick a gift. If you get picked second, you pick a gift and open it up, and you can keep that one, or you can steal from the first person. You have to give them yours. You're not really stealing, you're exchanging. And then the third person, and so on, which is a whole lot of fun. So you could do Secret Santa, you could do no gifts. And the other thing that came up was that she was sending a lot of gifts by mail. Oh my good Lord, does anyone send gifts through the mail? Like, it's absolutely insane how expensive it is. I have a friend over in Newfoundland. Actually, I'm broadcasting this live on Facebook, and I see Richard's watching. Hi, Richard. And so I have a friend in Newfoundland, Tracy, so maybe she'll listen to the replay. And Tracy and I decided a few years ago to stop sending gifts because the postage for the gifts was outrageous. And so we just send cards, and she sends me a beautiful card with a picture on it every year. And I always send her a card that's been drawn by one of my children, or both. And I do sneak a little tiny something in that card every year, just whatever fits in the card. So yeah, I know, Tracy, I'm sorry, I'm going against the grain on that and not honoring our commitment. But please, your cards with the picture are beautiful. Don't send me anything more than that. So those are a few tips for holiday spending. Now, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, you know that I don't come on the airwaves and just talk and talk and talk and talk. I give you all a break, and I put some tunes in there for you to listen to. So it's coming up to that time. So I have Joel Plaskett, $1 Million, which is a great song and reminds us all of our desire to have $1 million. And that's going to be followed up with the weather report. And then after that, I'll be back with another story and some more holiday spending and savings tips. So enjoy what's coming up, and I'll talk to you in a few minutes.
To know about your business,
hey, Richard.
Advertise in the masthead news.
I can make sure my mic's off. Mic's off. Good to go. You tuned in again. Thanks for coming back. I have to pay attention to the board. I did this earlier, and I forgot what I was doing, and I forgot to hit the button.
9099 now.
Okay. And check and see that I got all my songs coming up here. Whether, I'm not ready to put one in yet. So, what are you up to this evening in Hubbard's? Richard, are you having fun? Are you doing something fun besides watching me, I mean? Weather. I got 3 more. Thanks. I'm failing at my multitasking tonight. It's been a long week. I have all kinds more tips coming up, and a really good feel-good story about a text I got from a past client today. So I'm really excited to share that. And what else do I have coming up? Oh, Allison's out tutoring. Well, I hope she's making some money for you guys to spend at Christmas with her tutoring. Say hi to Allison. All right, I gotta pay attention for a second and see what I got coming up here. So we've got to put another song in. Okay. So we got Copper Penny sitting on a poor man's throne coming up. I just got to figure out where I'm going to put that. Let's see. How about right there? So the beauty of watching my live post, for anyone out there watching it, is you get to see me working the board, which means that every once in a while I'll stop paying attention to the video and start paying attention to the board and setting up my next songs to come up, which is what I'm doing right now. I will try to remember to hit buttons when I'm supposed to, although I've been known to not do that on occasion. All right, got my next song in there. So I have to say that this is probably one of the more fun things that I've done in a long time. I'm always involved in a lot of stuff, and I've really minimized that over the last couple of years when I gave up Scouts. Yeah, dealing with a whole bunch of boys the same age as mine, that was just crazy. But no, it was really rewarding actually, and I really enjoyed it. But I started doing this a year ago, and this has been fantastic. I can't believe it's been a year. I volunteered because they were looking for people to volunteer, and I think it's really important to get financial advice out there to everyone, really. It's one of those things that we don't talk about, we're embarrassed to talk about. It's funny, I had a gal in my office this week, and she was saying, you know, she's feeling kind of bad and guilty because, of course, she was coming into me because she has too much debt to pay and looking for a solution, and saying how people feel like they're a failure when they don't pay their debt. And I get that. I mean, we incur debt and we want to pay it. But I said something to her as she was walking out, and I never said this before, and so it was one of those moments when I said it, I thought, yeah, that really makes sense. And I said, you know, this is no different than a divorce. You're in a relationship that's not working, you get a divorce or a separation. And that's what debt settlements and bankruptcy are like. They're like, you know, settling or divorcing your debt and moving on with your life. And it's important that you have the opportunities to move on with your life when things aren't working. Anyway, my board's saying I have about 8 seconds before I have to go to the next playlist. So you just bear with me here for a second, and I'm going to start pushing some buttons. Hi, Mike. I'm not live on the radio, so if you're trying to find me there, you're listening to what you hear on the board here. But I am live in the studio, and I'm getting ready to play the next few clips and then put my song on. So this is one of those moments where I just kind of ramble, do my thing, and talk about what I'm doing. And you get to view me doing it, so poor you, or, you know, good you, not sure which. Multitasking at its finest.
FM weather is brought to you by.
All right, I got a whole bunch of short clips here, so you just hold on, and I'm going to come back and talk about more money stuff.
For Thursday night,
there's our weather. That's a good 30-second clip, so that buys me a few minutes to get my next song ready. Here we go. Okay. All right, what's my next song here?
And a high of -2 for Friday night.
I have time to put that song in, I think, before this stops. So we got King of the Road, Johnny Russell, King of the Road, coming up, in case anybody knows that song. And I got 3 seconds, 2, 1.
Currently, it's -3 degrees at Cove FM. You can check
These are the crazy clips. I gotta go fast.
Did you know the
okay, another 30-second clip. And then I talk. Well, I'm talking now, but then I'm going to talk on air, and we're going to go back to the topic, which is saving tips, holiday shopping, holiday saving, surviving the holidays, all that fun stuff. So I'm getting my cue. 10, 9, 8. We're doing our countdown. I'm going to make sure my next song's ready. And it is good. Okay, I am back, and you are listening to or watching, if you're on the Facebook Live post, Money Matters with Marianne on 88.7 Cove FM. I am in Hubbard's, Nova Scotia, and broadcasting live from our studio. It's so exciting to have a local station in Hubbard's, radio station. Love listening to it. And when they asked for volunteers, I readily stepped up because I think it's so important to volunteer in the community that you live in. And I also think it's equally important for people to get financial advice. So Richard's watching on the live feed, and he told me I'm the multitasking queen. But for those of you who are out there listening and not watching, what you don't see is the craziness going on in here when I'm trying to do all these things. Okay, so we're talking about holiday spending and saving. So I was just telling a story off the air about a lady who had come in to see me, and we were just talking about debt, and she was feeling very guilty because she couldn't pay her debt. Obviously, it's why she was coming in to see me. and we were looking at doing a settlement to her creditors. And I mean, this is what I see all the time, and you know, it's very obviously normal to feel guilty when you can't pay your debt, or you know, so when anything in your life doesn't work out. And so as she was leaving, I said to her, you know, this is no different than getting a divorce. If a relationship doesn't work out, your relationship with money is not working out. It hasn't worked out for a while. You know, there's been some whatever, you know, abuse, there's been misunderstanding, there's been lack of education. I mean, again, we can equate this to pretty much any relationship in our life. Not everything works out. And so, you know, think of this like a separation or a divorce and just basically move on. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of guilt around that in any area of our life. But at some point you just have to make a decision that something's not working in your life, find a solution, move on, and not carry that guilt with you, because that stuff will kill ya. So the other story that I wanted to share, this was my feel-good story. I got a message from someone that I crossed paths with in the past, and I was able to give advice to. And basically they said, you know, life is good now and they're doing well, and they want to know if there was a family that they could help at Christmas time, if I knew of anyone. Well, you know, hello, I know of lots of people. It's what I do in my business. And so I was able to pair that person up with a family with children who, you know, are really struggling and very concerned about how they're going to make it through the holidays. And that was just really, really awesome. So I was really happy to have that opportunity. And some of you have seen some of my other posts where I have it's the Money Angel GoFundMe page, and I just bought another $400 in gift cards to send out anonymously to people who need it. So, so two things I'll mention here, and the show is not certainly about me promoting my stuff, but I think it's so important to give this time of year. So if you want to give money to the cause, GoFundMe, Money Angel, but also if you know someone who could use a little extra help at Christmas time, just go find me on the net, Dr. Det, Dr. Det, and just send me a message or post something on my Facebook page, because 'tis the season to be giving. All right. So where was I? Oh, yes. So here's some more savings tips. And this tip is about getting through the holidays now, but it's also about preparing for next year. And so I was walking through a superstore today, and I love this time of year for holiday stuff because everything's on sale. It's like the best time to buy holiday stuff, or certainly will be over, you know, the next week or two. So buy holiday themed gifts. You know, a lot of people don't buy a lot of Christmas decorations and things for themselves, especially if they're on a tight budget. I know my rule is I buy one new thing at the end of the season every year, and that's what I try to stick to. And because you can't, you know, you're trying to make your dollar last, and you can't just go out and buy a bunch of stuff for yourself when you're trying to get through the holidays with all the other extra stuff you need. So you can buy decorations, you could buy Christmas crackers, you know, those things that you pull and the stupid little junk falls out, sorry, but it is just little trinkets, but kids freaking love them. And every year I do buy them for the kids, but I wait until the last minute until they're on really, really, really cheap and buy them, because again, it's just a want, not a need, and I consider it a bit frugal. Chocolate, another thing that goes on sale, makes a great gift, makes a great last minute gift. I know we say we get too much of that stuff at the holidays. I don't know if my best friend Twyla's out there listening. You keep chocolate in your freezer all year. Honest to God, I don't know how you do it. Every time I'm there, I help her get rid of her stock. Yeah, chocolate doesn't last in our house for more than a week or two. Okay, a couple of days to a week. And cranberries. So why did I put cranberries down? Because we all have turkey dinner, and what goes with turkey dinner? Cranberries. And so making homemade cranberries, buying those this time of year, making homemade cranberries and giving them out as gifts, something that I do every year. Is another great thing that you can do. So you can also use all of those same tips that I just gave you, and you can plan for next year. So you can buy Christmas themed gifts and put them away, like jewelry, Christmas jewelry. So I have my beautiful little angel earrings in that my neighbor made me last year, and I know I sent a few Christmas earrings off to my friend. I sent a pair off to my friend in Newfoundland, gave them to some other friends last year. Ornaments, of course, you can always give an ornament or make an ornament. Craft supplies, if you are a Christmas crafter, that's me, I'm a Christmas crafter. I buy all my supplies basically next week. I'll be going into the stores and getting stuff at discount for next year, so I'm ready to go. And you can also buy year-end sale items like electronics and things that go on sale, and even tuck them away for next year. That does take a little bit of resolve and commitment on your part, but buying that stuff and tucking it away. And typically I always have 4 or 5 Christmas themed gifts in my Christmas gift closet for the next year. And so somewhere around October I kind of go through that and see what I have. Okay, so how are we doing for time? I'm going to share one more tip and then we're going to move on with the music segment of the show. And that is, and I say this, I swear I say this every show, I must, track your spending to see what you're spending. It's so important. How do you know how you're doing if you don't track where your money goes? Even if you do something as simple over the holidays as having an envelope and you just put your Christmas receipts in it, which is a good idea, by the way. Keep your Christmas receipts in case you need to return them. And of course, women, we have purses, we can have an envelope in it. Men, stuff them in your glove box or wherever you need to put them. And put all your receipts in one place. And then here's the key. Sit down at the end of the season at some point. I do recommend a cup of tea or something a little stronger if you need it, and total up those receipts and see how much money you spent. And then take an aspirin. No, I'm kidding. Well, you might need to. But check in regularly to see how you're doing, and then set a goal to cut down for next year. So I created a Facebook page last year called Dreaming of a Debt-Free Christmas, as much for me as anyone else, and it was to help keep me on track, but also share some of the tips that I employ, over the months up to Christmas. And what I found, I'm going to share this on the post in another couple of weeks, but what I found is that I think, I'm going to do the totals, but it helped keep me on track, and I'm pretty sure I spent less than last year, and I still think I spent too much. Last year was too much, this year is too much, and so I'm going to really play with that and see what I can do to spend less each and every Christmas. So Richard just posted on the Facebook Live that's the biggest challenge, not keeping track of where, when I spend. Well, Richard, you are in, I would have to say, at least 80% of the population, if not more, because that's the biggest challenge I've seen of almost everyone that I deal with on a regular basis. And I only do it because I preach it every day, live it, and so it became part of what I do. It is the single most important thing. It's why you hear me say it, every week or every couple of weeks, because it is the thing that gives you control over your finances and helps you figure out what you can do to make it better. Okay, so 1:45. My gosh, time flies when you are having fun. Okay, so I've got a song coming up for you. I think I have 2. Sorry, taking my mouth away from the mic here so I can see what I got coming up. And Copper Penny sitting, oh, that's the one we just played. I think we did. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. See, I'm multitasking and going crazy. Johnny Russell, King of the Road. That's the one that I was looking for. And yes, Copper Penny, Sitting on a Poor Man's Throne. So enjoy these couple of tunes, and I do have a few more tips on holiday spending and shopping for you. So before we finalize this episode of Money Matters with Marianne, I'll be back to share those. All right, here we go. Cue the music. Okay, I think I'm insane. I've got the board on the go, I've got the Facebook Live on the go, I'm recording the show over there. I was going to pause it when the weather came on, but I'm like, there's just no way I'm going to manage that. Hey, Randy, just popped on and said hi. My mic is off, yes. Okay, my mic's off, so I can just kind of talk and have a little bit of fun now until I get back on the radio station. But I do have to look at my board, so just bear with me for a second while I do that. So, Sitting on a Poor Man's Throne. And then King of the Road. And then Community Calendar. And then I've got an ad, but it's probably a few ads. It's Christmas time, so we have a lot of ads on this radio station, so I find I have to be careful to make sure I play everything. And what I mean is I don't talk too much to the point where I don't have time. So I got to cut my talking back a bit. All right, what do we have? I know it's not very fun sitting here watching me do the board, but do you notice the last couple of weeks I've not been asking for call-ins for songs, which I usually do, because, yeah, one more thing. I thought that might be really stretching my multitasking. We need that. All right, there's what I'm coming up to. What do we have? this down here. And we got a couple ads after this. So we have Redburn. So anyone watching on Facebook Live gets a little insight into what's coming up next, because while I'm getting everything ready, I'm just chatting away to myself and to you. So yeah, I got a couple of ads coming up, so I just need to make sure I know what they are. And it's so great. It's one of the things I love about this local radio station. We get all the local ads, and I love listening to it at home and, you know, getting ads for all the places around here locally. There's even places I didn't know we had until I heard the ad on the station. And I also love that we play like just everything for music. You can hear everything from jazz to, you know, 60s to country to rock, pretty much the whole kit and caboodle you'll hear here. All right, I got those two queued. And that, and that's probably going to take me to the hour. So, get my last few things, figure out what I got going on. Wow, I have a few songs I need to take out here in a few minutes. All right, I'll do that when we get to community calendar. Okay. So, let's make sure I got a few more tips. So I did a little poll on Facebook. I posted to see how people were doing with their Christmas shopping. And so basically said almost done, you know, done, not nearly done, and having panic attacks. So I was pretty happy to see that most of the people who answered said that they're done or almost done. So that's encouraging. I put myself in that category. Which I think is a little bit unique and a testament to the Facebook page that I was talking about earlier, Dreaming of a Debt-Free Christmas, because every month I had to post how I was doing, and I had to track my spending and make sure I had money set aside, and so I was spending it as I do that, and that was actually really, really helpful. Of course, that's me. My husband's a little bit different. He hasn't started shopping, but I do 90% of it. He only does about 10, and so I think his plan is to do that this weekend or next week. Pretty much the week before Christmas. That's par for the course, I think. And we have one, no, I guess I'll be here the next 2 Thursdays. Yes, I will. I'll be here next week, and then the next Thursday between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. Holidays don't fall on my show nights this year. Because if Christmas was on Thursday, I mean, you know, as much as I love hanging out with you guys, I wouldn't necessarily want to be in here Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or Boxing Day. You know, or those kind of hang out with the friends and family and party days. All right, my clock is counting down. I got the 10, 9, 8 countdown. You love last minute shopping too. That's a guy thing, I'm pretty sure. Mostly. Not always, not generalizing.
People from our communities talking to our communities. 88.7 Cove FM.
All right.
The season is approaching, and Redburn Market is full of all kinds
So,
of good
so if you are on Facebook Live, if you do have a question or something you want to add, just type it in the comment button below and it will pop up. And while I'm on the show, if I get a chance, I'll share that as well. I thought about doing a call-in show where we could just do questions. I think I might do that. So you have to stay tuned for an Ask Dr. Det live call-in show, where people can ask their questions.
Come to Dillis Fine Foods for real British goodies. We're the winner of the best
And
British
what do
shop.
we have coming
a
up?
wide selection of British grocery products from across the pond.
I
Try our
might
handcrafted
leave
meat
that
pies, quarter pasties,
to,
sausage rolls,
yeah.
and much, much more.
No,
Not
okay.
coming for lunch or take home one of our delicious meals to go, or try a full
No,
Monty
I'm moving that
breakfast
song
served
down.
at 4 p.m.
Okay,
every
making
day.
a last minute decision to move King of the Road down because I'm keeping tabs on the time and I need to wind things up soon.
We're conveniently
So I'm going to move into
located
community
528
calendar and then do my closing remarks.
Our telephone number is 902
And then set up my last few songs.
36, or you can reach us through our website, delishfinefoods.com. Here is the 88.7 Cove FM
Community calendar.
Cove FM's community
It's going to be a little busy
calendar
for the
is
next
brought
couple of
to you
minutes
by
if you're
Lady
watching.
Equipment Rentals.
A preteen dance at Through the Years Daycare
because
Community
I
Center in
have
Providence
to get rid of
is
some
on
of these
Friday,
songs
December 15th, from
that I'm not
7
going to have
p.m.
time to
to
play.
9 p.m. It's an evening of music,
And
dance,
I got to put my
fun.
last song
It's
in,
all about chaperones and
which
education.
is Monty Python's Money
Ages
Song,
7
because
to
it is
12.
just so
The cost
darn
is
fun.
$5, and the contact
So
number
let's put
for
that
more
in.
information is 902-857-1777.
If you have a
And I got to get
community
this ready because I'm going to start
like
talking.
included in the Cove FM community calendar, please send the details to info@covefm.com.
Bay Equipment Rentals is your
Okay.
source for all your
Phew.
scaffolding
All right.
needs. They feature
So
top-of-the-line
we're going to move
equipment,
that down
ready to
there.
deliver anywhere inside the
There,
HRM.
get that set up in
Bay
7:50.
Rentals is your
Oh
go-to
my
for
gosh,
for
time
any
just
repair
goes
needs.
like
They also carry a full
crazy
line
when
of
you're,
pressure washer products.
and then
You
an
get 4
hour's
locations
just
to
too
serve
fast
you.
for me.
Lower Sackville, Cold Harbor, Elmsdale, and at 14 Summers Road in
Okay, I'm coming back to do my final tips in a minute on the radio. I got the 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
bayrentals.ca.
All right, I'm back, and you are listening to Money Matters with Marianne, and time is just flying by. Holy Moses, it's 7 minutes to the hour, and I have to wind things down and clear out of the studio because we have another great show coming up after me. So I just wanted to leave you with a couple of additional holiday saving spending tips. Next week will be interesting because it'll be like 5 days before Christmas, so we'll see how many tips I have for that one. It might be just surviving the holidays. Some of these I think I already said. So do-it-yourself gifts are great, and the story I was telling earlier about the gal that felt like she had to buy gifts for her family members, and we talked about that. And there was another gal in, and we talked about how people love getting homemade gifts and preserves, canned preserves, those types of things, because a lot of people don't make them themselves and they really enjoy them. I know they go in my gift baskets. In fact, I stopped at my brother's and sister-in-law's on the way home to drop something off and was given a container of fresh baked beans as part of my Christmas gift. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. There's supper tonight. And I went home and there was fresh baked bread. Oh, so how great is that? So canning, sorry. Yeah, just give some canned peas. Just do that. Ornaments are great. One year I made homemade bookmarks. That's really great to get your kids to draw pictures and make homemade bookmarks for parents and grandparents, or artwork if you're into artwork. And it could even be, I got some gifts from a friend one year, and they were printed pictures, but she had put a little color in them and put them in black frames, and just a set of 3, and I love them. They're in my house. They're some of my favorite pieces. The other point I'll make, and maybe this is getting too late for this one, but watch shipping times and costs, shipping timelines and costs. And so I know I've been caught ordering online, not realizing how much the shipping was, or there's been a U.S. conversion, right, Kim? And or duty charges, and don't you hate that when all of a sudden you get a call saying your parcel's coming, but you owe $35 extra that you didn't plan? Talk about throwing a budget off. All right, so last but not least, I put a poll on Facebook to ask how people were doing with their Christmas shopping, and the answers were that most people are almost done or getting close to it. I had a few that were done. I didn't have anyone say that they were in panic mode yet, so maybe they're just all out panicking and shopping and didn't have time to take the poll. I'm not sure. All right, I got to wind things down, so I got to turn things over to, we got the 80s at 8 with Lash LaRue coming up after me. So thanks for tuning in, both on the radio and on Facebook Live. And as always, wishing you happy, healthy finances, and hoping that the Christmas season goes well for you and your pocketbook. I'll be back next week. I look forward to talking to you more then. So I'm going to end things off with my typical end things off song, Monty Python's Flying Circus Money Song. And then I put the Johnny Russell King of the Road in there because I had to switch things around a little bit. So, all right, bye-bye, everyone. Happy, healthy finances. Whew, okay. My gosh, an hour goes fast. I think the next guy's here. I'm going to go check. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting with me, Richard. It's always nice to have some feedback when I'm on here. Plus, then I know people are watching. So, have a good night. Love y'all. Happy, healthy finances. Hitting end. I'm going to try not to hit the board while I do that. Can't reach.